All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Adam from Bama from the Kick Out Crew with a special interview with the man, the voice of New South Wrestling, the professional mic holder himself, Mr. Carmen Michael. How you doing tonight, sir?
Oh man, what an introduction. You got
Oh
a
man,
future.
I got a whole list. I can go down the whole line. It's gonna take 10 minutes,
I
everything
don't
you've done, but
I don't know if I want to know what all other names I could be called.
So hey man, how you doing tonight? I know you've had a rough day today.
It's been a long day. Unfortunately, I still have my multiple lives I live. Still doing all the technical work, audio visual work, stagehand work. But I enjoy it. I've worked with everyone from Slipknot to WWE to
Oh,
Rolling Stones. Been all over the place. So
oh, that's awesome. I can imagine just being on the road with Slipknot and what kind of mischief they get into.
oh man.
That's for another podcast. All right, so as we all know, this is our first sponsorship for New South Wrestling. We're going to be doing the Hoss tournament.
And
Um,
thank you so much for that, man.
oh, this is we
Love
were just
having the Kick Out Crew.
it was just crazy because we were just talking about because we're good friends with Cabana Man, and we were just going to sponsor his match because it was the it's a title match, Kenzie Page. So we were just talking to the guys behind the scenes, and they said, "Well, what about the whole show? So why not? Let's do it."
That's the way to do it. Go big or go home, man.
There you go. I love the sound of that.
Now logos everywhere. You're gonna have your names up on the screen.
You
Gonna
know,
get
just
through the show.
just the video that we saw on YouTube when y'all were doing the bracket. Just seeing the name at the bottom, I was like, I was showing my kids, look, 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 look. I was so excited.
Speaking of brackets, man, how do you feel about that card, man?
Oh,
We've got
dude, the Hunter Drake. He's had a good year this year already. Just in February, and he's had an amazing year. In Huntsville, and I think it was Blake Christian. He had a real good match with, and
that match has been so far this year has been my favorite match that I've called on commentary.
yeah, that was the same night. That was the next night. That wasn't Huntsville. Where'd y'all go after Huntsville that weekend?
So we were helping out behind the scenes for GCW when they did Take a Picture in Huntsville. We provided the ring, and of course, we had our featured scramble match. A couple of our guys were featured there. Then the next night we had GCW versus New South Part 1, because I'm not sure if your fans here know, but it's actually announced we are going to do a Part 2 in June. I believe on June 24th. That's going to be a Sunday. It's going to be a packed week for us because I know we got a show at the Toyota Field for Trash Pandas baseball.
Oh, wow.
GCW will be back that Saturday for another show in Huntsville. And then Sunday, Florence, Alabama for versus New South Part 2.
See, that's actually, I don't know if you're familiar with ad free shows with Conrad Thompson, but that's our Top Guy weekend.
So I hear, hopefully, we get enough people down there, maybe.
They're expecting at least 250, 300 people just from ad free shows to be there.
Man, got to get them to come out to a show.
Oh, yeah. I think it's all going to be a part of the whole deal. I mean, because other than wrestling, there's not a whole lot, not unless you like space and stuff. There's not much to do with Huntsville.
It's funny because coming from a small town and moving to Huntsville, what I did about 10 years ago, this blew my mind. Yeah. I was like, there's so much stuff to do. And now, when I go to a bigger city, I'm like, oh, well, Huntsville's not that big.
You see me being from Gadsden, and then when I go to Huntsville, I'm like, all right. But then I go to Nashville, I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing.
So I came from, I'm originally from Jasper, Alabama.
Okay, I know exactly where you're from.
Oddly enough, has a handful of famous people come from it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think so, but Merle from The Walking Dead was there. I think Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy, same person. Also Butterbean, the boxer.
Yeah, I can't forget about Butterbean now.
Eric Dover, the guitarist that used to play in the Slash's Snake Pit.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then you have little old me.
Yeah, but like I said, man, how long you been doing the commentating, the announcing for New South now?
So I joined New South in, I believe, July of 2020.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it has been a lot all at once, and I absolutely love it. I originally started off just ring announcing on the pre-show, And then in December of that year for the Dump Sanders holiday special, every year we do we call it, what, can't remember. I think it's like the Dirty Santa Elf Battle Royal or something like that. But it's basically like all of the New South Academy students will get in. They have a battle royal. It's a good way to get them experience.
Gotcha.
And that year they were like, hey, the trainees better than we do. Like, do you want to hop in on commentary for this match? And I was scared to death. Just thought, it's weird because like I used to tour in a rock band. Like I'm used to holding a microphone, but like since moving into my behind the scenes role with, all the other stuff that I do, I was a little nervous and I was like, I don't know. I'm going to be bad at this. I'm going to hate it. And I get in there and I call it on commentary at the time was John Mosley for New South.
Okay.
Excellent commentator. And, I felt like we had great chemistry. For my first time, I had a lot of fun and then didn't think anything of it, do that one match. And then the next show in January, I show up and they're like, oh, hey, by the way, you're on commentary now. I said, wait, what? They just threw me out there, threw me to the wolves, man. But
that's the best way to learn, is get out there and do it.
It was sink or swim, and I just kept swimming. And, not to say there wasn't mistakes made. I'll listen back to some of my commentary from back then, and some of it surprises me. I'm like, oh, this is better than than it should have been. And then there's other times I'm like, oh, why did you do that?
Oh, I do the same thing when we record, and then I go back and watch or listen to it. I'm like, man, what was I doing? Gosh.
I'd be like, man, why did you crack that joke? Why did you do that? Like, you should have done this instead. And, for me to only be doing this for, a little over 2 years now on commentary, I feel like I've got a lot of great matches under my belt. Ring announcing, same thing. I started off ring announcing the pre-show, and then it became ring announcing the full shows. And then, some other companies called. I got to do Terminus out in Atlanta, which is incredible. I got to ring announce, was it Jay Lethal versus Baron Black and Kenosuke I can speak. It's been a long day, folks. Takeshita and Jonathan Gresham. It was a great show, top to bottom. I love doing it. That introduced me to Gresham, working with him more often. Been doing his modern age grappling show.
That's awesome.
It's been a lot of fun, man.
It seems like it's just crazy how you just get your toe in the door, then you got your foot in the door, and then now you're all in. Because I thought you've been doing it for longer than just 2 years. I really did.
And I absolutely love it. Like, so when I first got my foot in the wrestling business, it was with Southern Honor Wrestling out in Canton, Georgia.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends that were working there. And it was the night that Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho both had their surprise appearance.
Okay.
And I won't go into details of what happened. There was a technical issue during the show that came up on a screen. I saw it, and I don't think many other fans saw it. But I ran back to the tech booth, and I was like, I know how to fix this. Just trust me.
That's awesome.
And everyone kind of looked around, and Gary Lamb, I know he's got his haters and naysayers. He's got his friends, but he was like, trust him. He knows what he's doing. So I hopped back there, fixed it real quick. It's just like, hey, happy to help. And then fast forward, I can't remember if it was the next show or the show after. I was actually on my drive down, and they're like, hey, do you know how to run lights? I was like, not really. I've mostly run sound, but I'm happy to learn. And ended up running lights for Southern Honor for a while. Got to work with Rock and Roll Express and all kinds of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great, man. And then once the pandemic hit, wasn't able to travel around as much. And then finally I saw that they were having a tryout for New South. So I was like, you know what? I knew Brandon for a while, been going to New South shows. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. And it's been nonstop since. So, I haven't missed a New South show since.
No ring aspirations. I mean, I think you've been to the ring once or twice, have you not?
Oh no, man. So like, of course, growing up, wanted to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
Huge fan of Sting. I grew up watching WCW. I loved guys like, I hate Chris Benoit.
I'm a huge, don't worry. I'm a huge fan of Benoit. Huge fan.
Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Raven, Saturn, Rey Mysterio, Psychosis.
Okay, I see. Now I know why we're getting along so good, because they were my exact dudes from WCW.
I loved that. And of course, like I always thought about being a wrestler when I grew up. And then, is like me and my older brother who, he passed away, I think 6 years ago now. It's all,
bro.
but we would always talk about like being a tag team when we grew up. Fast forward, I'm older, like I'm doing my thing, doing all this other stuff. And when the opportunity came for me to have my match, at first I said, no, I'm not interested. Don't want to do it. And I fought and fought and fought every step of the way. And when I finally agreed on it, I'm like, you know what? One, like, I like the story. Two, like, if my brother was here, he would be like, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it. So I decided to do it for him. And I loved how everything played out from start to finish. Had what I thought to be a very good match. I heard a lot of people say for that to be my first match, they were rather impressed. I was told to keep my gear because you never know when I may need another. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Oop, I forgot it today. My fault. What was I thinking? I remember them days, that first bump. You're like, oh God, I don't know about this. I don't know.
Man, so I think it's more of a mental thing for me because like the physical pain wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, now the day after my match, I was very sore, but like physical pain wasn't too bad. It was like that mental, like prepping yourself because you're like, oh God, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck.
Yeah, I was a stupid kid. I was, like I said, I was 18 when I started. I was a stupid kid, so I didn't even put that much thought into it. I just want to get out there and roll around and bust my back. But then, and you can ask a Benjamin about this one. There's a guy named the Professor. I swear he was 400 pounds. He would chop you, but he would come over the top with it.
Oh, and no,
I hated chops with a passion. He would put you in the corner and just pow. He had the biggest damn hands I've ever seen in my life. And he chopped the hell out of you, and I started crying right there in the middle of the match.
No, it's funny because when I came back to work, everyone was like, how bad's the damage? How bad's the damage? And I still had handprints on my chest. I had belt marks across my back. They're like, you can't enjoy this, dude. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's so much fun. People just don't understand it. Either you love it or you hate it.
Oh,
loved it.
That was the thing is everyone told me you're going to get out there. You're going to absolutely love every second of it. I'm like, nah, I'm just ready to get it over with. I'm ready to get it over with. And then I get out there and I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel real. Walk through the curtain. People are cheering. I'm like, okay, this still doesn't feel real. It did not feel real until that bell rang and I'm staring across the ring at Donnie Primetime. And I'm just like,
oh God, I hate to hear that.
This is happening. I was like, okay, this is happening. All right, time to go.
No wonder it didn't feel real. It was Donnie Primetime. I'm just kidding, but hey man, I watched Donnie Primetime a few times. Watched him in Chicago. He's a good guy. He's actually in the tournament coming up, is he not?
I said I don't know about the words "good" and "guy" together for him, but like he's a talented athlete.
There we go. Okay, we'll go with that. I was trying to be nice, for the fans, but
he's a bully. Not the easiest person to get along with. When you see there's a match that's going to be released soon. It's an unsanctioned lumberjack match between him and Nasty Leroy. That happened at our last show at We Love Pro Wrestling after the show ended. Whenever it airs, you'll see it doesn't matter which side of the locker room you're in, New South. Anytime Donnie Primetime will get sent out of the ropes to the floor, everyone would run to get to him first. So it's something we can all agree on over at New South.
I think it flows over out of New South too, because I've seen one or two of his matches out of New South, and I don't think anybody likes him around the parts. Oh,
that reaction for him at GCW in Huntsville was deafening.
Oh yeah, that was such an amazing event. That was the best New South show I've been to.
I've never heard boos during a Bon Jovi song. It was interesting, man.
Oh, that's a very good point, because you can't go wrong with Bon Jovi unless Donnie Primetime's coming out to it.
I think no truer words have ever been spoken.
So he had a match against
Luigi Primo.
Yeah, Luigi Primo, but was he injured or something happened?
So it's not my story to tell,
I got you.
but Luigi is recovering from an injury.
Yeah.
He thought he would be recovered by now. Thought he'd be ready. Unfortunately, the doctors told him, not going to happen. So luckily, we had someone to replace him with. And that,
Yeah,
of course,
Mr. Rolando Perez. Yeah.
former New South heavyweight champion and, of course, NWA contracted athlete Rolando Perez. So that I think that's a great first round matchup. You have Primetime versus Perez in the first round now.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget, Mr. Perez has beat a certain somebody NWA 2 times.
Oh, that's true. And notice who wasn't there at the GCW show.
I think he got scared. I think that's what it was.
But I think it's an interesting dynamic, though, with Primetime and Perez, because, of course, Donnie came into this thinking he's going to face off with Luigi Primo as on the bracket reveal. He said the catering guy, wasn't really taking him too seriously. But now he's in the ring with Perez, someone who he definitely knows. Has been in the ring against many times, challenged for Perez's heavyweight championship. So now I think that brings an interesting dynamic because now these two know each other, but they both leveled up since then.
Definitely. It's good to see Perez on NWA on Power and whatnot, and he was big. He was a big part of. I think it was an 8-man battle, 8-man match type deal. We just had one of the NWA referees on the show that drops here pretty soon. So,
yeah, man, Perez is someone that I cannot say enough glowing remarks about.
Yep.
I am so proud of him. Glad to call him a friend. Watching him grow as an athlete, as a person, his fitness journey. Like, it wasn't too long ago, he was the hot tamale Daniel Perez in New South. And, he's completely reinvented himself. He looks phenomenal. He's got himself a contract. He's working with all these athletes. He challenged for the NWA World's Championship.
That's awesome, man. He's back there with all the legends in the locker room, too.
That is crazy, man. And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Honestly, I know wrestling is wrestling and everyone's got egos. Perez, from my experience, is one of the most genuine dudes. I cannot say enough nice things about him. So
it's hard to find people in wrestling nowadays.
Yeah, man. And NWA, they've got quite a bit of New South talent over there.
I saw that.
Obviously Kenzie Page there, Ella Envy, part of Pretty Empowered. She was here at New South. Odinson, our first ever New South heavyweight champion.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, our first ever champion, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When did New South actually, do you know exactly when New South actually started as a promotion?
So New South started 2015.
Oh, wow, okay.
Started in Hartselle, Alabama at the Sparkman Civic Center. A lot of names have been through there, man. I remember going as a fan. So the first ever Haas tournament, I believe, was the first New South show I went to. I could be wrong there, but I know I was there for a fact because I remember the final four was Cheeseburger from ROH, Austin Theory, who at that time was a New South original.
Yeah.
And then you had, oh man, I am blanking out. Fred Yehai. It's been a long time.
Was it Commander Man?
He was the next year.
Okay.
But man, I remember going there and looking around. Crowd was absolutely packed. I'm like, this place has got great production, great talent. I had never seen anything like it on the indie scene because, Alabama indie scene, got a lot of negative connotations.
Especially around the area where I used to go. Yeah.
You expect, Uncle Joe to come out with big old beer belly and no teeth and no training.
Do you know anything about Boaz? That's where I did a lot of my wrestling, and we'll just say that.
I've seen the flyers. I'll say I'll leave it at that. I've seen the flyers.
Yeah. No. So unfortunately, that's where I did a lot of mine because that's just right down the road here.
Yeah. No disrespect to anyone. Make your money. I've seen the flyers.
Well, I'm still waiting to make my money. I got to hand a hot dog and 2 Coca-Colas.
Oh man, that sounds like the typical Alabama indie.
Yeah. I can't be mad about it though. I did it for the fun back then, but when you get older, you can't do it for the fun no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see Primetime and Rolando because they've been in the ring together a bunch, and I hope Perez. I hate to be biased, but I hope Perez pulls that one off. I don't see why he won't, but you never know. You know how tricky primetime can be.
Well, I know whoever wins that match, because I'm looking at the bracket over here.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that match has a tough fight ahead of them on night 2, because no matter what, whoever wins this match is either going to face off with Davey Richards or Stallion Rogers. So that second round is going to be tough for either one of these men.
Yeah, because Davey Richards is a beast.
Davey Richards was originally scheduled for last year's Haas and had to pull out last minute due to another commitment. And I thought for sure we were never going to get him back. And I was upset about him. Like, man, I always wanted to call a Davey Richards match. Like, he is phenomenal. One of the best athletes in the scene. Like, wasn't a huge ROH fan like when he was champion, but like going back and watching it now, I'm like, oh, this is incredible, dude. Like I became familiar with him in his work in TNA as part of the Wolves. And even then I'm like, man, this guy is just like on a different level. So like having him in now, and I feel like with age and experience, like he's gotten better, got himself in tremendous shape.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him come in and to face off with Stallion Rogers in the first round. Someone obviously been a part of New South practically since the beginning. You know, it's going to be a tough fight. I'm excited to see it.
And he was formerly Kurt Stallion back in WWE too, so that's going to be a damn good match.
Exactly how I remember him. And then, you know, obviously went off to WWE, the licensing for the name, I guess, kind of switched over, now known as Stallion Rogers.
That's awesome.
Had his match with Kinsey Page for the New South Heavyweight Championship last year, and it was an absolutely phenomenal match.
No, she's been running Love Shot here lately. She's had that title for a while.
So say what you will about Kinsey Page. I know everyone's got their opinion of her.
No.
She's too small, not believable. She's a girl, blah, blah, blah. Kinsey Page has done such great things for New South.
I agree.
Top to bottom, training our students, you know, showing up, delivering night in, night out. She's going off doing NWA, making us proud. So to see the hate she gets, say what you will, but like, she is one of the best. She has delivered time and time again. And since becoming champion, she's defended her title against Stallion Rogers, against Masha Slamovich, Brandon Williams, Steven Michaels. She's not even just defended it in New South. She just defended it out in Houston, Texas for Wrestle Rave.
That's right. I saw that.
And she's defended it, you know, all across the country. And it's impressive to see. You know, obviously, you know, she's got a bit of an attitude. She's kind of
you have to. If you're going to tote that big ass belt around, you got to have a little attitude.
Kind of run roughshod over New South for a while. She's got her little faction that she's formed. I say little, and that's not literal, because you have a monster like Walker 13, you know, used to be known as Walker Hayes. Then you have her younger sister, Kylie Alexa. You got Zach Johnson, who she's kind of taken under her wing. And it's what they have done in a small time, like such a small time, is incredible. Because like, you already thought Kinsey was unstoppable enough because she would stop at nothing to win a match. And now she's got this whole, excuse me, again, long day.
You're good. You're good.
But now she's got this crew behind her crew, no pun intended.
Hey!
Behind her that, like, they're just unstoppable at the moment. And, you know, I do feel that Cabana Man Dan, out of anyone who's shown up so far, has got to be the biggest threat, because, you know, Cabana Man Dan, longest reigning New South
reigning, baby.
Longest reigning, and up until recently was also the longest reigning tag team champions as well, until Infrared came around. But, you know, he wants to defend his streak against Kinsey. Started off, he won the Winter Wars Rumble, guaranteed himself a future championship match of his choosing. He called out Kinsey in what should have been just a standard, I will see you on this date, let's have a match. It very quickly turned into something much more personal. And I'm sure you guys have all seen the video. They got had themselves a little spat. Things got pretty personal, got tense, had to be pulled apart. Things got tense afterwards. And it's been nonstop since. Every time they've been in the same room at New South, resulted in a fight, face to face, screaming, pull apart. It has been I mean, it's been chaotic, and in one way you don't want to see it, but on the other hand, it's so compelling and like
Yep.
you want to see what happens. And I'm excited for it, man. I really am. And that's on night 2 of Haas. Of course, March 4th, Florence, Alabama, New South Heavyweight Championship on the line. And like at this point, I don't want to say the title isn't the focal point, because obviously New South Heavyweight Championship, it's quite literally the biggest prize in independent
They
wrestling.
call it human gold for a reason.
Exactly. It's funny. I see that meme every few months, like just on something that's not even wrestling related. I'll see that giant belt, and I'm like, yes, we got him.
I watched Cabana Man put that belt on Marco Stunt during a match one day, and it covered Marco Stunt completely.
I remember that. Marco Stunt is someone who we may be seeing a lot more of here in New South, hopefully. So
Good
fingers
deal.
crossed.
Good deal. I know he gets the same criticism too, but he's a good wrestler.
But to my point though is like, you don't want to say the title isn't the focal point in the match, because obviously that's what everyone's gunning for. That's what everyone wants. But when you have the title on the line, but you also make it personal, and you add in Kinsey Streak, and she's inching closer and closer to that longest reigning championship run. It's a lot. It's a lot at once. I think all those layers make it that much more interesting.
I like a little bit of believability in my wrestling. I don't mind at all. But
I'm enjoying it. And that's not the only title on the line, because announced earlier today, as we record this, New South Tag Team Championships on the line as Infrared defends against the newly reunited Akuto Death Society of Chris Crunk and Kevin Ryan. So that is going to be phenomenal.
My daughter's a big fan of Ryan, so I should be glad to see that.
I feel like every young girl is.
Yeah, they are. She's 16. Yeah.
I hear the reaction as soon as he comes through the curtain, and it's more than it is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a good match. So I'm glad Chris Crunk come back. I know he was injured there for a while, so
it's so nice to have Chris Crunk back. He is not someone that I was very I was gonna say familiar with. I was obviously familiar with him. Not someone I interacted with beforehand, before he left. And it's like, since he's come back, I've gotten to know him a little better. We interact, and he's such a great dude, man. I've got nothing bad to say about Chris Crunk.
It's kind of get him to open up a little bit, but once you did, it's
well, it's like when he lost his Loser Leaves New South match.
Yeah,
that was what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was.
2 years ago, yeah.
Been a while, but at that time, I'd see him in the locker room, say hello. But now, we talk every once in a while. Very genuine dude. Absolute sweetheart. And he probably doesn't want people to know that, but he is a very sweet individual.
I won't tell nobody if you don't.
It's okay. He'll talk about it on his podcast.
You're talking about Kinsey Page. Her little sister, Kylie Alexa, has a match against actually Kinsey Page's old tag team partner, Dylan McQueen. And I'm excited to see him come back.
That is interesting indeed. Of course, at We Love Pro Wrestling, we had qualifying matches. And at the end of the night, we had our 15 out of 16 wrestlers qualified for the show.
Yeah.
And of course, the fans, I'd seen tweets about it. I'd seen people in the crowd talking about it. And they're all thinking, who's 16? Who's 16? Who's 16? So when that video from Dylan McQueen played, announcing himself not only as number 16, but calling his shot and asking our general manager, Dump Sanders, to put him in with Kylie Alexa in the first round, the crowd lost their mind. I have never heard a crowd lose their mind for a video the way that they did. There was Dylan McQueen chants. There were Zaddy chants. Like, that is something, too, that's personal, because obviously, Dylan McQueen, Kinsey Page were tag team partners. And it's like, whenever Dylan came back, they kind of reformed Petty and Pink with Dylan, Kinsey, and Kylie. And then when we were in Gadsden for the WrestleMania show, of course, we saw Kinsey and Kylie turn on Dylan. They crushed his throat. They hit him with a chair. And not just that, but not only did they injure his ego, but they hurt his heart, man.
Yeah.
He was genuinely hurt about that. And he went off, had his time away. For a while, he said he wasn't going to come back to New South. He wanted nothing to do with Kinsey, wanted to stay away. And then I guess after his time away, the more he thought about it, he's like, you know what? No, that doesn't sit right with me. I'm gunning for the championship. And I got to say, from everything I'm seeing, it certainly looks like he's the favorite to win. He's definitely got the most on the line. He's, he's got a purpose. He's got a mission statement.
He's got himself in amazing shape too.
Yes, he has. Another person who has taken their health. I feel like all of our roster is kind of, I don't know, like what's going on. It's like everyone's in competition with each other. Like, you know what? No, I'm gonna get in better shape.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen that.
Perez, CMD, Dylan, like Stephen Michaels, absolutely Stephen Michaels. Everyone's just getting like super jacked, and like it's got me hitting the gym harder. Like
makes me feel like I'm falling behind.
Yeah, man. But you love to see it. But like I said, it's personal. Not only McQueen get Alexa in the first round, but like as personal as that is, you got to imagine how sweet that is too. Like, beat your bitter rival and then move on in the most prestigious tournament in the South. Like, it's a lot. And if he can go all the way, if he can win the Haas tournament, he gets Kinsey Page whenever he wants her. So
that's if she gets past Cabana Man, that is.
That's true. That's true. And hell, I mean, we saw with the Winter Wars Rumble, you can call your shot. So here with Haas, who's to say at the end of the night, hypothetically speaking, I don't want to plant any seeds or have anyone read between any lines that aren't there.
I don't want to say I'm pulling for a favorite or anything, but
but hypothetically speaking, whoever wins that championship match, they could have another championship match later that night with whoever wins Haas tournament.
I'd love to see Dylan McQueen and Cabana Man 1-on-1. That'd be an awesome match.
There's a possibility Cabana Man Dan may hold that title for all of an hour.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. It depends on what Dylan wants to do.
Longest heavyweight championship reign, shortest heavyweight championship reign.
That would be a hell of a moniker. Longest and shortest.
I love you, Dan. But man,
on that side of the bracket, we also have Stunt Marshall versus Warhorse.
Yes, we do. So on that half of the bracket, we've already talked about Primetime versus Perez, Rogers versus Richards, Dylan McQueen versus Kylie Alexa, and that fourth match to round out that side of the bracket, of course, Warhorse versus Stunt Marshall. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Stunt Marshall, he's a tough character to crack, man. He's a very interesting dude, really cool cat. You see him, interesting look. Nobody like him right now in independent wrestling.
And that's what you got to do. You got to stick out. You got to make yourself known.
He is eccentric. He's funny, but at the same time, he's serious. He's vicious. He's malicious. And, there's nothing he won't stoop to pick up a victory. So I think this one's going to be a great match. Of course, Warhorse, no different. Like someone who likes to have fun. Fans love him. But at the same time, he knows when to be serious, when to turn things up. So, and plus, it's been a while since we've seen Warhorse. I do believe the last time we had Warhorse was actually Haas 2021 when he lost his IWTV championship against Lee Moriarty.
Oh, wow. So
this will be 2 years in the making for old Warhorse. Looking for a little Haas redemption, maybe.
I'm a fan of Warhorse. He's great gimmick. He's original, something you've never seen before. Also,
absolutely. And hey, real quick, Slim Jim, sponsor my man. What do you do? It's like Stan from Eminem. He wrote you, but you still ain't calling, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Come on, do better. Do better.
You gotta snap it. You gotta snap it into it, Slim Jim. Come on.
Do better, you silly meat stick. How about that?
Nothing says Warhorse like a good old meat stick.
Man,
that should be a t-shirt.
I guarantee you, I probably shouldn't say this. I know our trainees are going to hate this. Hell, Dump Sanders may even hate this. You know what I really want to see? I have this vision in my head. Every time a Kuto Death Society get in the ring, you see the black and white streamers come in.
Yeah.
When Kinsey defends her championship, you see pink streamers come in. How awesome would it be? Warhorse standing in the ring, metal horns up in the air, Slim Jims just being thrown.
When you said that, I was sitting there picturing it.
See, it's a great side, is it not?
Oh, it's definitely original. I like it. I like that.
I'm sure everyone else will hate it, but me at commentary will be cracking up. I would absolutely love that.
I'll be somewhere where I'll be laughing my ass off too.
And plus, you get a mid-match snack. You just store
Hey,
them all over in the corner, and when you need it, just get your protein.
exactly. You can't go wrong with a bit extra protein. Keeps everybody in the awake and in the match.
I mean, I can't fit Slim Jim into my diet with their macros, but I mean, much who can. But man, this first round is so stacked. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, we went over that half. On the other half, you got more big names. You got more New South homegrown talent. Which one of those are you looking forward to, man?
I mean, like I said earlier, Hunter Drake has had a good first couple of few months.
He's
So
had it
him and Marcus Dillon is going to be a great match. I don't know, whoever wins is going to be an awesome match.
phenomenal like last 12 months, man. He has been on a roll and unfortunately coming up short in championship matches. But I mean, he's been picking up huge victory after huge victory. Of course, we saw him win over Allen Angels. That was an incredible match. I do believe that is up for free now on our YouTube channel, so go check that out. But he's got history with Marcus Dillon. These two have fought each other time and time again. These are two of our younger talent that, laying the groundwork to absolutely be the future of New South and prove this year that they are the present. Marcus Dillon, someone who's been wanting in Haas for years, been lobbying for it. This year, he's built up head of steam, picked up a huge win over Shaza McKenzie, just a few months back.
Oh, wow.
Picked up wins over Hunter Drake. He's really built himself a little bit of momentum here, and this is his first Haas. And I think a lot of people are going to look at this matchup and see Hunter Drake, who obviously was one of the favorites to win last year, got eliminated in the first round. They may be looking past Marcus Dillon, and like him or not, he may be a cocky, egotistical son of a you-know-what. But with that being said, there's a reason he's in Haas. He's a talented person. With Soraya Saber, his manager on the outside, anything's possible. And you may not like it, but there is a very good reality that the end of Haas 2023, Marcus Dillon is going to have a hell of a lot more investors.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure he'll be showing off that orange jacket all the time too.
Oh man, we'll never see the end of it. Never. I guarantee it.
So the winner of that match actually go up against is it Alex Price and Myron Reed, I believe?
Yeah. So that, no matter the outcome of that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I do believe this is the first time matchup between Alex Price and Myron Reed. I know both these competitors wanted this matchup for a while. I know they wanted it here. Luck of the draw, they ended up in the same match together. And man, Alex Price, I watched this man come in last year's Haas, and I watched the crowd. We got a pretty eclectic crowd. We have people who just come to enjoy wrestling, and then you have your diehards that watch everything. They're on IWTV, they're on Pro Wrestling TV, they're on Fight TV. They're constantly absorbing all this independent wrestling. So, like, watching all these people who weren't familiar with Alex Price and not knowing what they were getting themselves into last year, having him come in to almost, generally no reaction when he first came out. And then, like, through the process of that first match with Hunter Drake, by the end of that match, people wanted to tear him apart. And then, of course, second round, taking out Dylan McQueen, and then going to the finals, all the way to the final two, because obviously Haas tournament comes down to a fatal four-way elimination match for the finals. And it's like Alex Price was on this tear, and he was pinning all of the New South favorites, and the crowd despised him. And every time he's come back since, it has been more of the same. His match with Marco Stunt we had at Winter Wars Rumble, which also available for free on our YouTube and, of course, on Pro Wrestling TV, also free. Got to get my plugs in.
All right, go ahead, bro. That's what we're here for.
Alex Price is a phenomenal talent, and he is someone I can very much see going on, to bigger stages.
Yeah, I mean, we got several big names in this tournament, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit if he sneaks the win and has the orange jacket himself.
But speaking of which, though, Myron Reed, one of the absolute #1 top free agents currently, just left MLW. He was their middleweight champion for the longest time. Absolutely talented. He's a part of the Rascals team. It's been 3 or 4 years since he's been at New South. That was before I was here. But man, absolutely phenomenal talent, not just in wrestling, obviously a skilled musician as well, puts out music. Myron Reed and Alec Price has everything, all the ingredients together to be an absolutely incredible match for the ages. I am so excited. Whether or not I was calling commentary for New South, I would be at this show just for this match.
Gotcha.
It is absolutely incredible. And I know that same sentiment from others. I know some people that are coming from out of state just because of this match. And I guarantee you it'll deliver.
That's awesome. I mean, anytime you get that kind of hype for people to come to Alabama, is always a great thing.
That's the tricky part, is getting them to Alabama.
Yeah, no, because usually they're trying to get out of Alabama, but having them come in for a weekend is amazing.
But speaking of first-time matchups, up next we have Brogan Finley versus Martin Stone. Of course, Martin Stone, the former NXT Tag Team Champion, Danny Burch.
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times. He's a tremendous guy.
Incredible, man. And he was someone when I was told he was in the tournament, I stopped and thought about it. I'm like, man, I never would have expected, Danny Burch, or Martin Stone, as he's called now.
Yeah.
Still call him Danny Burch. Please don't sue me, WWE. Don't have the money, I promise. But like, I thought about it. I'm like, man, like him and Haas, that just doesn't feel right. And then I thought about it more. I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean.
And then to have him in the ring with the son of Fit Finley, like,
yes.
And I don't say that disparagingly, because I know Brogan, everywhere he goes, that's all everyone talks about. Son of Fit Finley, son of Fit Finley, or, brother of David Finley.
Yep.
Dude, no, Brogan absolutely stands out on his own. Incredible talent. He's still really new to this. I think he's probably been doing this. I could be wrong. Probably doing this like 2 years now.
Yeah, he ain't been around very long.
But he has all the potential in the world. He is an incredible athlete. He's picked up on it super quick. He is in the ring. You see that like charisma oozing off of him. Like the crowd is taken to him. And man, he's another one I feel like you're going to be seeing on TV a lot.
And it's kind of like he was born for this, wasn't he?
It's almost like that. But, man, he is someone we are lucky to have here in the Southeastern independent scene. And he's, expanding out of there, man. Much like Hunter Drake. Of course, Brogan and Hunter, they're part of a team called the Heartbreak Killers. Haven't teamed up in New South, but they've teamed up across the Indies. So it's nice to see them branching out and going out to New Jersey and going out to Los Angeles and like
that's awesome.
Chicago, like all these places. It is so nice to see, man. And I guarantee, that's one of the things I like about Haas. Every year there is a lot of talent that is already well known. Like, of course, last year we had, Effie, Fandango. Like we had all these names that people already knew, but then you put in people like, again, last year, for example, like a Braden Toon.
Yeah.
A young athlete that not a lot of people are familiar with. And you have all these first-time watchers of New South who see it, much like the GCW versus New South show.
Yeah, he showed out at that show. Wow, he showed out.
So this has always been, the Haas tournament has always been kind of that platform to mix up between, the more well-known athletes and put in the people that, maybe need that little breakthrough, because we see it. We see the talent in all these people, and we know that they are the next to break through. And sometimes you just need that platform to be seen, and they
absolutely right eyes, man.
Absolutely deliver. And Brogan Finley is absolutely going to be one of those. And to see him in there with Martin Stone, and I know that's a matchup that means a lot to both of them.
Yeah,
I'm excited, man.
That's going to be a hard hitting match too, because we all know how hard hitting Mr. Stone is.
So I know there's a video we have on our YouTube channel of Brogan Finley versus Donnie Primetime. So it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
There you go.
But Brogan hits the nastiest overhand chop I have heard in live. Like the sound, like I can still hear it, man. And like you watch the video back and you hear how loud it is in the video, but and like even then it's loud, but you listen, like if you were there in the building, I saw so many people clutching their chest. There were like audible gasps in the room.
God.
And I thought for sure Donnie was just gonna walk to the back and give up.
I about just would have gave up right then on the ground, but
I would have quit, man. I would have quit.
that's
Not
the
just
one thing I
not
hated
just
was in
the
chop.
match. I just would have retired mid match. Like I'm good.
I hated chop. The only thing I hated about wrestling was them chops. And oh God, I don't miss them at all.
And Donnie delivers some hard chops himself. I've been on the wrong end of them. But yeah, man, stacked first round, and then our last match, first round, we have Channing Thomas and Vinny Pacifico. This is one we've seen Channing Thomas come through. He was just here at Winter Wars Rumble, really impressed in his match with Hunter Drake. And then Vinny, he's been here time and time again, has yet to pick up a victory, but the fans love this dude, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about his, about his character, like his characteristics, his charisma, something about him, man. This crowd in New South has latched onto him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because he comes out to Backstreet Boys or.
Man, if I forgot all about that.
Vinny is such a likable dude, man. And I see the success he's having. He is, I tell him this all the time because, I get told all the time, you're the hardest working man in pro wrestling, which, thank you for that. I appreciate that. It's not true. I appreciate it. I do work hard, but the hardest working man in pro wrestling absolutely has to be Vinny Pacifico. It's like either him or Kid Bandit because they are constantly flying to this city and this city and this city to wrestle. And we just saw Vinny scored a sponsorship deal with Bang Energy, which is
that is awesome, man. Congratulations on that.
Yes, Slim Jim, you hear that?
Somebody's falling behind at the wayside here, guys. Let's go.
Bang is spending the money on our athletes. So you better hit up Warhorse immediately.
Exactly. I mean, I gotta write a strongly worded letter to somebody.
You're slacking, you dumb meat stick.
I'm throwing stuff. I'm so mad.
Man, but Vinny, excellent dude, world-class Channing Thomas, incredible athlete. He is another one, he's he thinks very highly of himself.
Okay.
He comes in, he calls himself world-class for a reason, but he delivers, man. He delivers. There's like a lot of people in this, like you may not like their attitude. You may not like there's some of their tactics in the ring, but push comes to shove, they deliver, they pick up victories, man.
You got to respect their ability.
And it's up to Vinny, man. Vinny, like I said, yet to pick up a victory here in New South. He's got a big opportunity here. Can pick up his first victory in the first round of Haas. Man, I'm excited for it.
It's a huge tournament. I mean, it shows sixth tournament, I believe, sixth annual.
This is the sixth year. There have been 5 winners thus far. Yeah, Fred Yehai, Cabana Man Dan, Derek Neal, Adam Priest, and Kinsey Page. So whoever wins this year is going to join a very, very inclusive, very small group of people. And man, I like what we're building here.
Derek Neal is another guy that I can't just put over enough. How amazing he is in the ring.
Great dude. Hopefully he'll be back at New South at some point. I know he did everything there was to do here, so he's going off doing his own thing. But whenever he comes back, I guarantee you that crowd is going to lose their mind. I love Derek. Such a great dude. I've had the pleasure of going down to Tampa, Florida with him for WrestleMania weekend. Great dude, man.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, 6 years in, I feel like every year somehow gets better. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a part of it. Like I said earlier, I'm just a fan living his dream, man. So if I was a fan, I would just be showing up to watch this. Each year somehow gets bigger, gets better. So I think the 6th year is going to be the best one yet.
And to top it all off, a 2-night event, man. I'm going to spend the weekend with you guys to represent the Kick Out crew. I'm definitely pulling for Cabana Man in that championship match against Kinsey Page. but I know it's not going to be easy for him. She's going to give him everything she's got and more.
The odds are stacked against my buddy CMD. I'll say that. So we'll see what he can do. But it's going to be a great weekend. Of course, March 3rd, 4th, that's a Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
Florence, Alabama, Singing River Brewery. Of course, the first time Florence has ever held the Haas tournament. I'm stoked for it. Festivities don't end there. Of course, for our wrestlers out there who may be watching, we have a seminar on Saturday, March 4th. Not just one seminar, but two. From 12 to 2, we have a Davey Richards giving a seminar for $30, which absolute steal.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you'd be crazy to miss that.
Okay, let me run down just from the top of my head. Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, MLW Openweight Champion, been a tag team champion for TNA, IWGP Tag Champion, CZW World Champion. Like, list goes on and on and on. Incredible talent to learn from. Not just learn from, like, obviously you're going to learn a lot from it, but just getting a chance to bump shoulders, network, not just with him, but the other wrestlers there. And then that's from 12 to 2. And then from 3 to 5, we have Martin Stone giving a seminar. I can say the same thing about him, man.
Yeah.
And that's also $30. But for what we're calling the Haas Camp Special, you can get both seminars same day, $40.
Jeez, you kidding me?
Yeah. And then we're picking one person from each seminar that stands out, and they will actually be competing on night 2 of Haas. So I get asked all the time, hey man, how do I get on New South? Hey brother, how do I get on New South? And it's always, hey, we don't have a spot now. Check back with us. We'll see. Here's your shot, dude. I'm challenging any independent wrestler out there that's been hitting my DMs, whoever else's DMs. How do I get on New South? Here's your chance to get on New South. Biggest show of the year. You're going to be on the same show as people like Davey Richards and Martin Stone and, Warhorse, Vinny Pacifico, all these people.
$40, you say?
$40. You get both seminars. And that is a lot of knowledge. So bring your notebooks, bring your knee pads, your gym shorts, but also bring your gear because you might get selected. And I do believe, could be wrong, I believe they are the ones selecting the talent. Maybe a little judges table set up. I don't know. I know I'm gonna be busy, so that's not going to be me. But
I'm not saying that interest of being back in the ring has crossed my mind once or twice, but
it's time to bust out the boots, man.
Hey, I might go dust them off. I mean, shoot. Hey.
But man, I've already had talent confirmed for this seminar that are coming from out of state. It's like hours and hours and hours drive for this. It is something that's got a lot of people excited. I'm excited for it. I know every seminar that we have, whether or not I wrestle, I always like to listen in because it is so interesting to hear, why we do things this way. And, it's excellent to absorb knowledge. And I've always been someone that tries to learn every aspect of the business from the front to the back. So
yeah, I've seen you've done a lot of the mic work as far as backstage work, and you've done ring work, you've done putting it together, you've done a bit of everything behind the scenes, haven't you?
Everything, man. Like obviously done the independent stuff. I've been on ring crew for all the major promotions. Doing my stagehand work, I've also set up their audio. It's been a lot. I've been very grateful for everything I do. I'm very happy, very lucky, very blessed. I know not to bring down the mood, but a lot of that does go back to me losing my brother, because when that happened, I was thinking like, obviously you get down on yourself, but eventually I'm like, you know what? No, I want to live my life to the fullest. Yeah. I want to make Nick proud. I want to do everything for him. So I don't like saying no to things. Like if I have an opportunity to do something, I want to do it. And I probably shouldn't say this. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I had just gotten a new job, and the day I was supposed to start my new job, I had been asked a couple days before if I wanted to be on the heels TV show for season
I
2.
saw that.
And it so happened that filming started the same day as my new job was supposed to start. And I was like, man, I can make excuses now, but I'm like, you know what? No, life's short. When am I ever going to have this opportunity again?
There you go.
And then, not to drop names, but like being there the first day with my friends. I'm not going to say who all was there because
No, you can't do all that.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to say I was there. the show hasn't.
I ain't gonna tell nobody. Don't worry about it.
But like first day, first person to come up and say anything to us was CM Punk, and I'm just like, you know what? I think I made the right decision.
Oh, definitely, 100%, 100%.
Like, this is cool, man. I can get used to this.
Well, it has, the stuff about the show is already on Twitter anyway, so you're not saying nothing that ain't already been told.
Okay, good. So they've announced me for the show, right? They've tagged me.
I see your name and a bunch of stuff, and there's stars at the bottom of it. So
me as an extra in my wrestling fights.
That's awesome, man.
And I'm very blessed, and I get to do what I love every day. I'm just happy to be here. When you asked me to be a part of the podcast, I was like, man, I'm not cool. Why do you want to do this? I don't want.
Well, I said, thinking, why would he want to join us? I got excited because you said yes. I think, he's too busy. He ain't got no time. I'm glad you did, man. I really do.
Like, you sure you want to talk to me?
Hell yeah, you're the voice of what we're sponsoring you. I mean, if you want to talk to anybody, we want to talk to the voice of the show.
Man, I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you being a sponsor. Of course, not just a single match. You're a sponsor both nights.
I can't believe you're doing it either. I'm still wow.
I know we like to say to our fans all the time, like, we can't do it without you, but can't do it without our sponsors. And of course, we do have more sponsorship opportunities. Like, you can sponsor a wrestler. Like, if anyone watching right now wants to sponsor the commentary team, the ring announcer, we've got a excellent broadcast crew this year. It's myself and Nick Manawa on commentary, and then Brian Tamborello ring announcing. Absolutely loaded broadcast team. I'm excited. And then, of course, you have all your talent. Cannot say enough positive things about this year's Haas. And then, of course, we always like to sprinkle in some surprises.
There you go.
Last year, we had that crazy unannounced 7 versus 7 tag team match at Haas that got incredibly wild. Yeah. If you haven't seen that, again, you can check it out on Pro Wrestling TV or on YouTube. But Positive Lee had a revolver at one point and was pistol whipping people. Dirty Dango did a 450. He power bombed Zach Johnson out of the ring. It was insane, man. I've never seen anything like it. And each year at Haas, we somehow step up our game. So I have no idea.
I'll be there in person this year. I can't wait.
I genuinely have no idea what we're doing on night 2 for our special unannounced match. It could be anything. I don't know. It could be a gauntlet. It could be.
That's the best way I want it, though. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Only thing I can really rule out is probably Hell in a Cell. I don't think we're doing Hell in a Cell or Punjabi Prison, but it could be wrong.
Oh, God, no. If it's that, I got to leave if it's the Punjabi Prison. No, I can't handle it.
I'm excited. Haas is our biggest show of the year. Of course, obviously anniversary show is a special place in all of our hearts. That's where all the New South stories kind of culminate. But as far as all eyes on New South, unless we have a show at GCW, which we do out in, I feel like all eyes and independent wrestling are watching every time we do Haas. Incredible 2-night tournament. Each year gets bigger and better. And I think this one's going to be the best one, man.
That's March 3rd, March 4th. And I know the Twitter says Hartsville, but it's actually Florence, Alabama.
Well, you must be looking at an old post because we switched venues a couple weeks back. It's going to be Singing River Brewery in Florence, Alabama. If you check the ticket link that we have on our link tree or on our social media, it should take you to the Eventbrite page. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right here. It says VIP packages, $40 weekend floor seats, $30 weekend general admission, $30 for 2 nights. Come on now, or $40 for 2 nights. Come on.
Real quick, you brought this up. I know you got to wrap up here soon, but you brought up the VIP packages, and man, not saying this, trying to just chill out. But like, again, from the fans' perspective, because it wasn't that long ago I was on the other side of the barricade.
Yep.
$100, you get a weekend pass for the floor seats, so that's already covered. And then you also get an exclusive 8x10. You get an exclusive sticker. You get an exclusive Humongold pin. There's like all these exclusive things. You get your Haas t-shirt. Of course, each year we do a different color variant. This year, if you're in person, right now you can pre-order or you can buy at the show a gray and black shirt that's got all the competitors on the back. And now for the first time, Pro Wrestling Tees, we have an exclusive black and orange combo.
Yeah, I just saw that. I love that black and orange.
It's the first time we've done 2 color combos, to my knowledge, in the same year. So if you're not able to make it to the show, don't worry. You can still get a Haas shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. Get that black and orange combo, and maybe if you have a friend going, you can get the other. You can collect both. I know that's what I'm going to do.
That's ProWrestlingTees.com/New South Wrestling.
New South Pro Wrestling.
Okay, yeah, New South Pro Wrestling. I'm sorry. I can't read today. I'm from Alabama.
Not sure if the other New South is on Pro Wrestling Tees, but don't get us confused with the other New South. There's another one out there in Kentucky, and we see you. You're doing good things.
That, really?
You're doing good things, but you're not the best in the South.
There you go.
Probably gonna get in trouble for saying that.
Is there anything else you want to put out there? Plug anything else?
Just all of our stuff is right now is out there for free. You can watch us on Pro Wrestling TV. You can watch us on our YouTube channel. Of course, check us out on our social media. All that stuff you hear all the time. But I'm telling you, if you have the chance, if you're on the fence, buy the ticket. Go out of your way. Come to this house. There's a lot of surprises. There's going to be a lot of cool things. And I don't want you to be the person who's after the show who tweets, "Man, I wish I was there."
Yeah, I wish I could be there in person.
You're going to want to be here in person. You're going to want to see this for yourself. There's going to be a lot of killer moments.
Yeah.
A lot going on. You're going to want to be here. And of course, we got more shows coming up, but check our social media for all that, because we're going to be announcing a ton of stuff. We've got a very, very busy year. We've got all of our dates planned through the end of summer, and I'll just say we don't have a lot of weekends off. I'll say that.
And that's why I'm sure you love it.
But Heart of the Southern 16, March 3rd and 4th, Florence, Alabama. I'm telling you, be there. Promise me. Look at me in the eye right now.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna be there. It'll be my first Haas tournament, and it won't be my last either.
You are in for a treat, my man.
I'm definitely gonna be there all weekend. I'm probably gonna bring my son too. We'll see if he wants to go with me.
I'll be happy to meet. I'll sign him an autograph.
That'll work. I'll be selling t-shirts as well, so maybe we can do like a t-shirt swap.
Perks of being a sponsor.
Exactly. I can't wait, man. I really can't. But I appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate you. I appreciate all the guys over at Kick Out Crew. All of you, be sure to come find me day of the show. Let's get a picture together.
I definitely will, man. I'm gonna try to get there a little bit early Friday. What time does doors open Friday?
Both nights doors will open 6:30. Show will start at 7:30.
Sounds good, man. I can't wait to see you there, brother. I appreciate your time tonight.
That goes for all of y'all. Y'all see me. Don't be afraid. Come up, ask for a picture, sign an autograph, whatever. I just want to meet everyone. That's not an ego thing. Like, I want to meet all of you. I want to hear your stories. I want to connect with you, because our fans, we say it all the time. We have the best fans in the South. And
oh yeah, I've been there. I know personally. I've been there. I've seen it.
I love you all. Genuinely, I appreciate all of you. You show me much more love than I feel like I deserve. So thank you so much to all our fans, and thank you for having me here. Thank you for sponsoring, and I'll be seeing you very soon.
Yes, sir. Here, by the time this drops, it'll be about a week, and then I'll see you there, brother. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate you, dude.
All right, guys. This is Adam, Kick Out Crew. Appreciate you hanging out with us, and I hope you enjoyed everything, and we'll see y'all March 3rd and 4th.